for some people to come up in the room. Going there, everybody. What's happening? What's popping? It's your boy Dave in the 702 for Tailgate Talk Week 11. Brought to you by your boy Dave from the Shoe Shine and Philly Irish Drew EVob. Drew, what you snacking on, homeboy? ¿Qué pasa?
Ice.
You got some ice. Shout out to everybody that's joining us. I know it's not our normal thing we do, but we're trying to get this football season thing going. So we appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us on the Shoe Shine and on Wednesdays, of course, here on Tailgate Talk Week 11. It is interactive, so if you want to join in and call and talk about any of the Week 10 games, Week 11 picks, power rankings, feel free to do so. Shout out. You can tap in at 702-710-3627. Drew, I hope it's going to be a good show. I've been having a lot of fun with you. Last week, we took a lot of time to do our power rankings. And my team, the 49ers, are back. Look at me, man. I'm wearing my red and gold today. And power rankings have really gone. I mean, a lot of people's power rankings have flipped the script because there was some big-time upsets this week. A lot of people didn't think certain teams would win. And so right off the bat, I want to know what were some of your surprises from Week 10. Then I'll get into the 49ers. I know you had a bye week, and you got the NFL Super Bowl rematch coming up this Monday night. We'll be going on the Shoe Shine right after that. And while you give me, Drew, your Week 10 surprises or thoughts, I'm going to make myself a classic Dave in the 702 margarita, Drew. So take the microphone. And by the way, guys, this one is spicy. It's Espolón, white Blanco tequila, followed by this new one, Drew. You're going to really, you like spicy, Drew? Can you handle that? Bar Smith half chile margarita mixer. This shit is bomb. Go ahead, Drew. Take it away while I make myself a cocktail.
Well, we're also going to discuss the current playoff picture of both AFC and NFC, and we're going to pick who's going to wind up being in the playoffs and where they're going to be seated at, too. But if we look at, so I picked. Everybody was looking at me in the chat. I was like, the Browns? When it comes to the Browns and the Ravens, I picked the Browns to win in Baltimore. And they're like, you're picking the Browns? I'm like, yeah, they're going to win. So, it didn't look like it looked good at first. And then out of nowhere, not even a half hour later, it was 31-30 Ravens. And then the Browns came and kicked the last second field goal to win in Baltimore 33-30. But here's the thing, Baltimore's still in the lead in the NFC North at 7-3. Browns improved at 6-3, but at a bad cost, because here's the thing. They lost to a team, the Ravens, that had a quarterback that went 14-14 for 147 yards and a touchdown. But that quarterback had a damaged throwing shoulder, which Deshaun Watson is out for the year.
I did hear that. Deshaun Watson is out.
Surgery today.
Wow, man.
Season-ending surgery on his throwing shoulder, and he won the game for them. He went 14-14, so that was bad. It was a matchup with the number 2 and the number 1 ranked defense and everything. So it was one. So if you look at it, people are thinking the Browns might be out of it. Can the Browns defense continues to win them games and everything?
Well, Drew,
I don't know.
They pulled off a major upset against the 49ers. In my opinion, it was an upset. The 49ers did lose to the Browns, and I've had my eye on the Browns. And today I heard the news that Deshaun Watson is out. Can they still get to the playoffs? I mean, they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. It's a very close game according to the odd makers at DraftKings. That remains to be seen.
They can win the game. They can beat the Steelers because we don't know what type of we don't know what Steelers team shows up week after week. And the thing about it is they're 6-3 or so. But the one thing about them is in all these games, every team has outgained them in yardage.
Right.
And everything. So we don't know. Kenny Pickett can look like a guy that could be benched anytime. We don't even know. Like, we don't know what type of team this is. Like, their defense is okay, but they get outgained on offense every game this year so far. And they're 6-3, surprisingly. So, I don't
pretty
know.
wild, man. Steelers and Browns are 6-3. You want to talk about 6-3? NFC West, the 49ers are just barely ahead of the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams 6-3. Dolphins are 6-3. There's plenty of teams that are 6-3, including the Jaguars. And man, the Jaguars didn't look like they belonged on the field with my San Francisco 49ers, Drew. They're 6-3. And let's be real about this Jaguar situation. Johnny, if you're listening to the replay, your team choked. Did your team choke so bad? A field goal? That's all they were able to produce. 34-3. The Jaguars, the AFC South superpower, can only produce a field goal. I'm not even drunk yet.
I look at it, and the Jaguars proved to be frauds so far.
Well, here's the thing, Drew. They're playing the red-hot Texans, C.J. Stroud, again. People are starting to talk about this guy being the MVP of the league this year as a rookie.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk. But they did beat the Jaguars already. And in just 2 weeks, I guess the day after Thanksgiving, the day after I go see David Benavidez fight versus Bubu Andrade on Sunday, November 26th, the Jaguars aren't going to be in a hotly contested game against the Texans. And Drew, I really think the big surprise this year is going to be, do the Texans take over the AFC South? Which I think is very likely because the Texans are going to run over the Cardinals this week, putting them at they're going to be 6-4, and they're going to be knocking on the heels of the Jaguars. And I'm not too sure, guys. Drop it right now. Jaguars versus the Titans. I'm not so sure that Trevor Lawrence, after playing such a horrible game, has got his mojo back that quickly. It's not like the Titans can be overlooked, and we'll get to that, Drew. But any more surprises for Week 10? I know the Browns are they have a good record. They have one of the best defenses. Bengals tomorrow, Thursday Night Football. What are your thoughts on all that?
I don't know. Browns and the Bengals. They're playing the Browns, right? The Bengals?
Let's see. I'm sorry. My bad. Tomorrow night. And people typically don't watch Thursday Night Football. You know, it's on Amazon or whatnot, or maybe you can get it on your streaming stick. But Cincinnati Bengals against the Ravens, that's a red-hot game between Burrows and the Ravens. A lot of people thought Ravens were untouchable, right?
Nah, Ravens showed out to be frauds a little bit. Like, they here's the thing. The Ravens are a team that are losing to teams games that they should win and everything. So I don't know. The verdict's still out on the Ravens and everything, but I think they beat the Bengals this week. I think that it's got to be a rebound. I really, really think it might be a close game, though, but we'll see. But, I don't know about the Texans still because the thing about it is they may be getting hot at the right time and winning and somehow finding ways to win games and everything. Because, tell you the truth, the Texans are probably the biggest surprise of the league and everything, being one of the worst teams, and thinking, hey, this is a rebuild year. They're probably going to be bad again. They're 500, the Texans.
Yeah, and I read today that they still have, at the end of this year, some incredible picks ahead because I think the Texans still have some big NFL picks coming up in the draft. But Drew, while still on the subject of the Texans, they have one of the weakest schedules. And one of the things that's completely polar opposite of your Philadelphia Eagles is that you guys have a very difficult schedule, including a game with the San Francisco 49ers in December. It's not like you guys have an easy end of the year. And a lot of teams don't have the same privilege as the Texans that have a particularly weak schedule. That's why I say they're going to blow out the Cardinals this weekend and then potentially in the rematch beat Johnny Savage's Jaguars all over again, or the Jagoffs, whatever Jacksonville Jagoffs, to beat them, and they're just going to cruise to first place in the AFC South. That's my prediction.
I look at it like this. If the Eagles can get through this stretch, then the rest is smooth sailing, because they got, after this, they'll have the Cardinals, they have the Giants twice. So.
Okay, so not all your teams are going to be difficult challenge. Your biggest challenge is next Monday is if we get to rewatch and relive Super Bowl last year's Super Bowl. Shout out to Paul Martinez, the Upset King, says, how about the Broncos-Bill games? How about that game, Drew? Russell.
I look at it.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
yeah,
I look at that, next 5 games and everything, Chiefs, Dallas, Bills, 49ers, Seattle. I would not be surprised if the Eagles only lose once out of these 5 games. And if they only lose once or go unbeaten against these teams, I'd be surprised if they go unbeaten against these teams. But I have them only losing once in this next. And I think they always split with Dallas. I think they're going to beat the Chiefs. Here's the thing. The Eagles are getting healthy at the right time because Barry Roby's back, the slot corner, and that takes out. Hey, we had the substitute rookie corners every so often, and then the safety had to come down and help the slot corner. Mm-hmm. That partially eliminates that, and these guys are going to be more together now, so the safeties can play their position. And then on the offensive side, Cam Jurgen is coming back in right guard, and the running game is going to get a lot better with him in there now because he's back. He was like that ever since he was out. The Eagles running backs didn't really play that well. So I think everything's going to go back. I really think that this could be the resurgence. And this is going to be the Eagles playing the best football at this stretch.
Drew, how is Jalen Hurts' knee going to be after 2 weeks rest? Because I think they have a particularly tough schedule coming up. Okay, you guys got the Chiefs. And Paul Martinez says, I hope the Eagles beat the Chiefs. Paul, by the way, Drew, if you guys don't know, Drew has a $25 Cash App bet with Rhonda's friend, Brandon. So Brandon will definitely be calling either way to pay up or to get paid this coming week on that game.
I look at this and I think this is the time of year where the Eagles are going to play their best football. And the thing with Jalen Hurts, he's going to be limited and everything, he's not going to be able. Jalen Hurts has become most of his off-season routine was to improve his pocket awareness and everything. And one of the reasons why he did that, in case he was ever limited, that cannot lose his legs all the time, and he had to be drawn to the pocket. Jalen Hurts has become a good pocket passer. And I'm really not concerned. Jalen Hurts is making the throws, he's making the reads, he's throwing from the pocket. He's evolving as a pocket passer as we see it. And he did, I know he works on his mechanics every year. Ever since he's been in the league, he's worked on his mechanics. He found out the first year as a full-time starter what he had to work on. It's that confidence after the Tampa Bay eliminated them and blew them out and everything. My next season starts tomorrow. And he went and started working on mechanics and everything. And this past offseason, he started working on pocket awareness and everything, how to become a better pocket passer, and it's all showing up right now. And he's getting different new looks because the NFL, a lot of these defenses are wanting a new defense that they don't normally see in the NFL. It's somewhat of a shell defense, but it's more like they're all trying to keep that game in front of them and not give it up and everything. But I think if you're wanting that type of defense, and I think the Eagles are wanting some type of a shell zone and everything, I said if you want that type of defense, you got to blitz a lot. You got to blitz a lot because you don't want to give the quarterback a lot of time to throw. You want to put him under pressure to have like a 75-25% chance that he makes a bad read because he's under so much pressure.
Drew, I know you're not too fond of ESPN's power rankings, but let's look at USA Today. They've got, we don't need to go through all 10, but I kind of agree with this one this week, okay? They've got Eagles as number 1, the Chiefs number 2. Number 3, the 49ers are back at it again, quickly climbing back with the recent trade we had of trade acquisition, and of course everybody is healthy now. Number 3 comes in at the 49ers. Number 4, the Browns. Number 5, the Ravens. And I will strictly disagree. I've got the Ravens ahead of the Browns, Drew. And then number 6, they have the Lions, and I put the Lions at number 5. But let's hear Drew's top 5 power rankings right now.
I got the Lions at number 5. They are just continue to win games. They had the two games that they lost to. They lost to good teams and everything. One was a block, one they made a game out of it. And they beat the Chiefs on opening in Arrowhead. But they are scoring. They do got a good defense, an okay defense and everything. Number 4, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. You have to put them in there still. They still got their good defense. The only problem with them is they're losing games they should win. Number 3, I'm picking the Niners. They beat a good team on the road. They blew out a good team on the road. Number 2, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns.
Even with Deshaun Watson gone?
As of right now, you have to put them because they went into Baltimore and came back.
Right.
And beat the number 2 ranked defense on the road. And they beat legitimately, people were saying, the best team in the AFC and everything. And number 1, I got the Eagles. People got really, they're trying to put the Eagles at 7. People are trying to put the Eagles at 4, at 3. I'm sorry and here's the thing. Here's a statistic about the Eagles. They're not blowing teams out. Everybody knows that. They're winning close games. They're finding different ways to win. But here's the thing. The Eagles are 3-0 against teams with winning records this year.
Drew, let's talk. I know you wanted to discuss playoff pictures and early playoff predictions. Let's start with the NFC. Eagles are sitting pretty. 49ers are close with the Seahawks, both 6-3. The Lions, of course, you said are one of your top power ranked teams. And in the NFC South, it's just kind of a hot mess of 50-50 teams. Saints are just barely playing 500 ball. And then the wild card. Cowboys are red hot right now, playing pretty damn good football, especially at home. They play great football. 6-3.
Against bad teams.
Against bad teams. When playing against great teams like the 49ers, they fall apart. And the Eagles, they fall apart. So, what is your likely prediction here for, of course, the NFC first seeds and who makes the playoffs as a wild card?
I look at it, and I believe the Eagles will keep the 1 seed. I think they'll keep the 1 seed. I think they'll get past this brutal stretch of the schedule. And I think the Eagles at most loses 3 games this year and everything. So I think that's enough to have them the number 1 seed. I think the number 2 seed is going to be Detroit.
Lions they're 7-2 at the moment.
I really think the Lions may maybe lose 2 or 3 more games, and that's it. So I'm picking the Lions as the number 2 seed. The number 3 seed, I'm gonna be honest. I think Seattle wins that division. I think Seattle
every year, guys. This is the first year we have our football show, and every year Drew Evo says that the Seattle Seahawks are going to come ahead of the San Francisco 49ers. Nothing has changed.
I think the Seahawks are going to win the West. And
hell nah, come on, guys.
I look at it like this: the NFC South. Oh man. Like the NFC South is probably the worst division in football this year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Saints 5-5.
I'm going with the New Orleans Saints. Like, I think the New Orleans Saints are clearly probably the best team in the NFC South and everything.
But
I had a toss-up between Tampa and the Saints. I'm picking the Saints. I think the Saints will win that division and get that. I think the Saints will probably finish 9-8 or maybe 10-7 to win that division. My wild cards will probably be the 49ers or have to make the first wild card. The second will probably be, oh my God.
Cowboys or Vikings?
I'm picking the Cowboys to have the second wild card. And the third, oh man, I really be honest. It's really hard to pick this, but I think the Vikings may make the playoffs.
Yeah. Dobbs has got some legs on him. I'm shocked, man. Shout out to my boy Speech. Surprisingly, you guys started off like garbage and somehow have you're playing 600 football here, 600 Vikings at 6-4. I think that they'll definitely have the potential with Dobbs playing as well as he is, squeaking by and getting a playoff berth here. Drew, do you want to do the AFC one?
Yeah, we can do the AFC one.
All right, we're going to do the AFC, and then we're going to go right into our picks for Week 11. Drew, AFC East, you got the East, you have the Dolphins with the Bills playing. Bills are playing a very important game this week because they could fall apart. Their season could fall apart, or they can rebound here.
I'm going to be honest with you, Dave. I think the Bills are going to miss the playoffs.
I just had what the hell? I don't know what I just did. You think the who's going to miss the playoffs?
I think the Bills are going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, a lot of people do. So Dolphins are sitting pretty on the top. Chiefs are sitting pretty. Ravens 7-3. We've talked about Baltimore extensively today. They've already played 10 games. And the Jaguars, well, we saw that. We've been discussing that the Texans are right on their heels. And they have a game coming up November 26th. They could potentially be tied at the so Drew, who takes the division in each division?
I think Miami. I think they locked up that AFC East, and I'll be honest with you. Miami's schedule is favored. I'll be honest. I think Miami's going to win the number 1 seed. Even though they can't beat good teams right now, I think they're going to win the number 1 seed with their schedule. I think the number 2 seed could be is the Chiefs. Number 3 is going to be the Ravens,
who are 7-3. They've got 7-3. They've played 10 games already. And Jaguars, do the Jaguars hold on, or do the Texans and CJ Stroud?
I think the Jaguars do hold on to that AFC South title. But I look at it like this. I think the first wild card will be, oh my God, I think the first wild card, oh man.
I predicted the Raiders, but the Raiders, I don't think Raiders are winning this weekend. Steelers are playing 6-3. Steelers are 6-3, and of course I said the Texans, with CJ Stroud being as red hot as he is, I would think you would have Texans.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the first wild card is gonna be the Steelers. I think they'll be the first wild card. I think they'll sneak in. I think the second team will be the Browns. I think the Browns will make the playoffs with their defense.
Yeah. We keep talking. They don't deserve to be. they're third in the AFC North, but we keep talking about them week to week. And then we keep talking about the Bengals being a good team, despite being in dead last in the AFC North. There's still people that think somehow the Bengals get red hot down the line and potentially make the playoffs.
Here's the thing. I think if the Browns offense could produce 17 to 21 points a game and give that defense some room, I think they'll win games. And that could be done. And I think they're going to have to do that type of football going forward. But I'm telling you this right now, the Houston Texans will make the playoffs and claim the final playoff spot. The Bills will be eliminated. The Bengals will not make the playoffs. I don't even think the Chargers will make the playoffs.
Oh, shit. That's not much. That's an easy one.
The Chargers are too fucking inconsistent.
Yeah.
And I tell you this right now, you can have an argument and say that the Chargers may make the playoffs over the Steelers, over the Browns. They're too inconsistent. And I be honest, I think the Dolphins, with their favorable schedule, they're going to probably get the number one seed. But I really think I said that Sean McDermott, the Bills head coach, is on the hot seat. And what happened? He fired the offensive coordinator and lost to the Broncos. The Broncos is 4-5 now, and everything. Surprisingly, I don't know. It's just a really hard to predict the AFC. I think the Texans might snag up that last playoff spot.
I think they will too. I think they definitely squeak in, and that's going to be one of the best stories of the NFL of season 2023. Drew, let's get into our picks of the week tomorrow. For once, on Thursday night, there's actually a game that means something. Cincinnati Bengals. You have Burrows against the Baltimore Ravens, who are favored to win by 3.5 points, Drew. And for a Thursday night game, I think it's pretty interesting. How do you feel about this? Baltimore Ravens still playing really good, even though, they're having some issues at 7-3. Do you think the Bengals and Burrows can get red hot?
I really think this. I don't think they're going to win. I don't think the Bengals win this game. I think it's going to be more like the Ravens are going to win, are going to bounce back. I'm probably going 27-24 Ravens. But I said, it was going to be a close game.
So they're going to cover the spread. They're covering the spread. I think it's pretty easy to lay down that bet right there. And even Ruli Ramundo says 31-17. He's got it way 2 touchdowns, more than 2 touchdowns. I'm also laying it down with the Ravens to be the favorite tomorrow night. In a game where usually Thursday Night Football has really bad ratings, I'm probably going to definitely tune it at the half to see how this game unfolds. So moving on to Sunday morning, 10 a.m., the Dallas Cowboys have the same record as the San Francisco 49ers, and yet they didn't even seem to belong on the field. But Dak Prescott playing at home, Drew, is actually like a different quarterback. They're playing the worst team possible, the Carolina Panthers. DraftKings has the Cowboys as a favorite, negative 10.5 points. And this one's way too easy. This is blowout city. Blowout city, at least 2 touchdowns. I'm laying it down on Dallas Cowboys. Drew?
I'm picking Dallas. And the thing about it is, Dallas, all they known for is beating up on bad teams. And even if someone from ESPN calling Dak the best quarterback in the NFL, no, he's not. He can't. They can't beat good teams. And they lost to a bad team. So, the Dallas Cowboys are frauds.
The Cardinals have another win. They did lose to Derek Ware's Cardinals, and he also played for the Cowboys. That's easy as shit to call, but this one gets in interesting here. Panthers by 3. Paul is on a upset streak, so he thinks the Panthers beat the Cowboys. Hey, he might be onto something. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? He might be onto something. Yeah.
They're not. The Panthers are just not good.
Yeah, they're horrible on both sides of the ball.
the Dallas Cowboys defense loses another main piece, another big loss for the Cowboys defense, leading Randall. He's out for the season, and his career might be over. So, with a neck injury. So, that middle of the field is filling a big void and everything. So, Cowboys are losing another defensive player that really helped with their defense. But I still think Dallas blows out the Panthers and everything. It's if you just want to add them on to the parlay just to up in the money, stake like a couple bucks, go ahead and do it. But if they were to lose to the Panthers, it'll be a laughing stock.
I heard that. All right, 10 a.m. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Miami Dolphins and Tua. And they think that Tua is going to smoke the LV Raiders. They're on a 2-game win streak since firing their coach, Josh McDaniels, and, benching Jimmy Garoppolo. Will the Dolphins steamroll the LV Raiders by 2 touchdowns just about? DraftKings has it as a negative 13.5. Man, I don't know. Is it going to be that bad of a shellacking? If you want to take a different bet, the money line on the Raiders upsetting the Dolphins is plus 525. Damn, you have to bet $750 on the Dolphins to win a C-note, to win $100, to win a Benjamin, Drew. The over is going to be 46.5 for a negative one. I mean, there's some alternative bets. You think they smoked the Raiders by 2 touchdowns?
I think they win by 10, the Dolphins. So I'm picking the Dolphins by 10.
So it sounds like you think the Raiders might cover the spread.
Yeah.
I got the Dolphins winning by 2 touchdowns at least, potentially 21 points. Raiders, Rulli Ramundo says Raiders 24-20. That would be the biggest win. And when we started this show, Tailgate Talk, at the beginning of the season or early on, just maybe 3 or 4 episodes back, I thought that the Raiders could potentially bounce back and find themselves potentially in a wild card situation. Beating the Dolphins sets that tone. Beating the Dolphins is probably the greatest thing the city of Las Vegas has gotten since Formula F1. And yes, I'm kidding about that, Formula F1. All right, Drew. Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. And shout out to Soltero Media. Thank you, homeboy, for coming in here. Appreciate it, man. We're talking football. We have a mixture of people in the chat, and I appreciate you being in here. Drew, the Steelers, you were just saying they might squeak in versus the Cleveland Browns. This is going to be a very competitive game. Damn. Sportsbook's got this going. Cleveland Browns to be favored by -1, even though Deshaun Watson is out for the season. And the Steelers having the better record. I don't know which way to go on this one.
They both had 6-3. I'm picking Cleveland to win. I think this is a type of game where my theory goes in effect that their offense can put up 17 to 21 points and their defense makes the win. I think the Browns probably win this by a touchdown.
Steelers are 6-3. Browns are 6-3. Browns just had a great win again. They lose their star quarterback. They're going with the backup. I got the Steelers pulling it off. But this game is going to be very interesting and one that I'll definitely be checking in on. I got that NFL package. I can watch all the games. Excuse me, guys. When I drink, I burp a lot. I know it's gross. My wife's probably like, stop freaking burping. But for those of you that didn't see, I made myself a spicy margarita, and I'm telling you guys, you must buy and try this bottle. I'm not even like we have sponsors. Hatch Chile Margarita Mix. Shit is fire. It's badass. I love it. All right, Drew. Chicago Bears versus Detroit Lions. Only by a touchdown? DraftKings has Detroit Lions favored by about 8 points. Come on, man. They're going to smoke the Bears, aren't they?
I think they win by 14.
Easy. All right. Well, this game is interesting because we've seen this game tons of times. How many times have we seen the Giants play the Commanders? Is this a rematch? This is the second time this season?
Yeah, this is the second time. I'll be honest. I think the Commanders win this game. I don't think that they're going to because the Giants just don't have nothing. They have nothing. left.
Yeah,
They have
and the
nothing.
Commanders, even after giving us their what's that defensive end player, they're still playing solid ball. I mean, they're still a slimmer of hope that they could make the playoffs this weekend. All right.
I look at it like this, Dave.
Yeah.
The Giants should just try to just go for the number one pick and get the number one pick and get a quarterback. Yeah, you signed David Jones to that big contract, but dude, get a quarterback. You gotta get a quarterback.
Well, I read something very interesting about the Commanders quarterback. Is that Sam Howell? He's made some of the deepest throws all season. I think he ranks number one as the best quarterback for the deepest throws. So I don't know. I got them winning this game, but by 9, a spread of 9, yeah, they should easily do that. 2 touchdowns. All right, this game is a joke, but one where we should see C.J. Stroud kind of like in these exhibition boxing matches. Arizona Cardinals, I hear, got Murray back, but will that make any difference at all? Houston Texans are only favored by -5.
I think the Houston Texans deal with the Cardinals. I just don't.
You think they have a shellacking on them?
I don't think it's going to be shellacking. I'm picking the Texans by 10.
All right, the Texans by 10. I think the Texans beat them by 10 too. Actually, yeah, field goal and a touchdown. And as you guys could tell, man, the more I drink, the more I slur. So, all right, LA Chargers versus the Green Bay Packers, Drew. I could care less about these two teams. Actually, the LA Chargers are favored by -3.
I'm picking the Chargers. Green Bay's not there yet. Green Bay, this is a down year. And this, and I expected this to be a down year for Green Bay. Because I just did not. They have to address a lot on this team. And I mean a lot offensively. Because they got an okay defense. They can't stop the run on defense. But they traded Russell Douglas, the other starting corner. So, I'm picking the Chargers to win by a touchdown. But Green Bay's not there yet.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. They're definitely not there yet. All right, so I don't have them winning either. So moving on, this game is important to me because I want to see my homeboy Johnny's team just get into despair. Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. They played so bad they could not score a touchdown against the 49ers. But does Trevor Lawrence rebound? Does he come back to what he's typical of, Drew, against the Tennessee Titans? They're favored by a touchdown. Could you see Trevor Lawrence falling apart and maybe not having the confidence? This happens in boxing all the time. Could the Tennessee Titans upset them? The Jaguars are only favored by 7 points.
I'm picking that 7 points. And I'm going to take the Jaguars. I look at it like this. Ryan Tannehill lost his starting job. Mm-hmm. And Tennessee is not really that good.
No, they're not. But they're not awful. They're not awful. Yeah. And I'm just hoping that something is off now at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And like I said, the Texans are in prime position in November 26th, the day after that David Benavidez fight, to take first place in the AFC South. But the Tennessee Titans could absolutely help the situation. I'm going to pick the Tennessee Titans this week as the upset. I typically don't do that, but yeah, Tennessee Titans are going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are playing, as they say, somebody's in their head, and they're going to fall apart from here on. Now this game's important to me. The 49ers coming off of a bye. All of their stars are healthy now. They just got that trade from the Washington Commanders that definitely had an impact on the San Francisco 49ers defense. They should put away this team comfortably by a lot, but I'm going to say this right here, guys. The 49ers can't afford to take any team lightly. They just can't. Because we've seen when they have that they lost 3 games in a row. They cannot afford to do that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are straight garbage, but take this team lightly and they can make it close. I'm telling you, they can make it close. They've got the San Francisco 49ers beating them by 12, Drew. I'll be happy if they beat them by 10. So does that mean I take Tennessee? Tennessee, again, I said it. Do I take Tampa Bay to cover the spread? Shit, that's a close one.
No, I think it's going to be a blowout.
You think it's going to be a blowout? For once,
Yeah.
Drew says my team doesn't win the NFC. All right, fine. I will take the San Francisco 49ers by 12. It should be a blowout. It should be a blowout. And I'll be feeling good going into the rest of our season. Of course, Drew and I will be meeting in December. Our two teams will be meeting in December. Tampa Bay 45-3. That's a good one. That's hilarious. That's almost like the Niners beating the Jaguars 45-3. All right, Drew. Jets versus the Buffalo Bills. Upstate New York versus Jersey. Actually, don't the New York Jets play in Jersey? Buffalo Bills favored here. They have to win or their season completely falls apart.
I think they will win this game. Zach Wilson is just fucking terrible.
Wilson, he's absolute garbage. Easy peasy Buffalo Bills. I think they win by more than 7 points. I definitely have them beating that spread. I'll go with the Buffalo Bills. Shout out to Jimenez Video Productions, homeboy. Big Raiders fan. I just had a double. I made myself like a triple shot margarita. And as I wrap up the show, I'm slurring my words, but shout out to Jimenez Video Productions. Make sure you go check them out on YouTube. This game's important to me, Drew, because NFC West, Seattle Seahawks versus the LA Rams. This is a divisional game. And it means a lot to me because we're tied. Right now, the San Francisco 49ers and the Seahawks both are playing 6-3 ball, and I expect the Niners to win. But if the Seahawks win, we're neck and neck. And this plays into what you're saying, that you think the Seahawks can take the NFC West by the end of the season.
I'm picking Seattle win. And I'll cover the spread, too. Fuck it.
And the spread, again, it is Seattle by 1 point. Damn, they think this game is close. Y'all think the LA Rams can pull off an upset against the Seahawks? It matters to me, guys. This game is a division game. Very important. I'm going to hope the LA Rams pull the upset. I'm going with the LA Rams beating the Seahawks by a field goal. I'm hoping and praying. All right, moving on. Minnesota Vikings, Drew. Man, this Dobbs guy got some legs on him. I think he surprised and exceeded his expectations. But they're playing against Denver Broncos, who are kind of like, people kind of ruled out the Denver Broncos from being anything. All of a sudden, they have this huge upset win. Paul Martinez in the chat said the Broncos would win. My buddy's speech definitely hopes Minnesota Vikings can squeak out a win. It could be a very close game. It's only a -2.5 favorite for the Broncos. Shit, I am surprised. They got the Broncos winning this game.
I'm picking the Vikings to win.
There you have it. Speech would say, there you have it. Minnesota Vikings, I'm going with them too as the upset. And you know what? Let's see. If you go with the money line bet, you only win $114 if you bet a C-note. What's the point of that? That game's not even worth it.
There you have it.
Wow. Well, that almost brings us to the last game and the most important game of the week, and that is Monday Night Football, guys. I'm going to be doing our boxing show with Drew. We're going to be doing the show after, because we got to respect the game, especially if it's close. We'll just do the shoe shine after this game because I think it's going to be close. In fact, the odds makers have the Chiefs as the favorite. Vegas got the Chiefs as favorite for a -3, Drew, by a field goal. And if it means anything to anybody, okay, that skinny little singer, okay, she's doing her tour in South America. So Travis Kelce will not have the benefit of having his little girlfriend singer in the stands. Now, Drew, for what it's worth, I actually heard people that are professionals say that he's playing better football and catching more receptions when his girlfriend's in the stands. So hallelujah, she will be in South America singing her little heart out. Now you got $25 on the line with Walk with Rhonda's friend Brandon. So there's $25 on the line, and she left a comment. By the way, guys, she left a comment saying, "Drew, let me get it in on that. I got $25 too." I don't know if you took her up on that. That would raise that bet to 50.
No.
He doesn't bet with women.
She's not going to get in on it because it's late as hell. And number two, I don't do straight up bets often. So I have to take him up just to prove a point and everything. So, nah, she can go. No, she a fake fan anyway. My opinion.
A fake fan? Oh, shit.
She a fake fan when it comes to the, like,
you don't think she wears Eagles gear in Southern California?
But I look at it like this.
Yeah.
I'm picking the Eagles to win this 31-21. I think that here's the thing. I think that the defensive issue, the secondary issues will start to improve this game because our slot corner is back.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that we get the running game back. I look at it like this: if we get a lead, we're going to win the ball, and we're going to take the clock out. That's what I think is going to happen.
When do you need to take the lead? At the half?
No, I think in the third quarter, if we're in the lead and we go into a lead in the fourth quarter with a lead, I think we're going to start running the ball and running the clock out. Even if you have a 10-point lead, I think we're going to run the ball and everything. Like the Chiefs wide receivers are not good this year. One of the worst units in football. But here's the thing. I really think the Eagles beat them. Like, I just don't think the Chiefs are as good as last year to be able to beat.
Their offense is barely getting off the ground. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that the odds makers have Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, beating you guys by a field goal. I'm surprised. But I think it's going to be a very competitive game, Drew, because that fighting spirit of Mahomes as a champion, that champion spirit we see in the sport of boxing, he does not want to lose. This game matters so much.
I look at it like this, Dave. You contain Travis Kelsey, you have a great shot at winning this game because.
And you think your secondary will do that?
I think they could. Here's the thing: Lee Blankenship is third in QB, in pass rating on defense. He's the third best safety when it comes to coverage, and so far. So I think they'll be able to have somebody on Kelsey the whole game. And I think the pressure is going to be there. I think they're going to blitz Mahomes a lot and rely on the corners to be able to stop these wide receivers that have really been non-existent most of the year and everything. I don't know what's wrong. The Chiefs ain't going to be able to run the ball on the Eagles. They're the best team against the run. I just don't think the Chiefs have it in them to beat this Eagles team right now.
Drew, back in the day, the great boxers in the 80s and 90s, you had fighters like Oscar De La Hoya, early 2000s, be very vocal about the fact that right before the big fights, they wasn't engaging in sex, okay? Travis Kelsey, little girlfriend, Taylor Swiftie and the Swifties, she ain't going to be around. Now, is that going to help his testosterone to make those big catches? Because they're saying he's been playing better football when Taylor Swift is in the stands. Does anybody believe that refraining from sexual activity makes you a better athlete? I think that shit is old wives' tale, okay? And therefore, Travis Kelsey will have an awful game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles take this. Sorry, Rhonda. Sorry, Brandon. Drew will be calling to collect that $25 bet on Cash App next Monday night on the Shoe Shine.
I'll be honest. Someone hit me up and told me, I'll be honest, Drew, I would not be surprised if the Eagles win by at least 17. And I was like, I can't go that far. I can't go that far.
17.
Someone told me that they think the Eagles are going to win this by 17 points. And I was like, I don't know, by 17. I got them by winning by 10, but I don't think they'll win by 17. If they win by any more than 17 points, I'll be surprised.
I'll be surprised if the Eagles don't win by 6 points. I was going to say something retarded. I was going to say be an asshole. What's the final thoughts? Let's hear Drew EVo's final thoughts on week 10 going into week 11. And then I got some stuff to say about Thanksgiving, guys.
I look at it like this. Cowboys are going to go beat up on another bad team. And it's, it's really how the media tries to portray shit and everything. Oh, Dak, the best quarterback in the league. Who the fuck has his team beat? They lost to every good team so far they played this year. And like he does great against bad fucking teams. And like the thing about it is like people would like I look at everything and I don't know, like I think you're gonna start seeing some teams up in their game. You're going to see some teams fall apart. And I think the teams that are up in their games are going to be the ones that are going to be there in the playoffs, late in the playoffs. So, I don't know. But I'm sorry. I don't think the Bills are going to make the playoffs. I think the Bills are probably going to finish 9-8 or 7-10.
I heard that. Drew, tomorrow night here in Las Vegas, for those of you guys know, I moved to Las Vegas back in April. This is my home now. It's my hometown after living in Northern California my entire life. And tomorrow is the Shakur Stevenson fight. Maybe we'll do a live stream. Maybe we'll do a watch party. I don't know if anybody wants to see that. Let me know. Drop a comment or hit me up at shoeshine_boxing. We could do a Thursday night pre-F1. F1 has been a freaking nightmare for people that live in the city, guys. And it's this Friday. It kicks off this Friday, literally tomorrow night. If I wanted to go to that fight, and by the way, they're selling tickets for like $25 bucks, True, is what somebody told me. Hey, do you want to go? I can't get there. I'd have to like walk from, I don't know, South Point Casino 5 miles away because they closed the Las Vegas Strip at 5 o'clock. So I'm just going to kick it and watch it at home, because I'm going to a really good fight. Not that these fights tomorrow night are not good. They're very good. Very good fights, guys. I'll be going the day after, Saturday, after Thanksgiving weekend to see David Benavidez versus Bubu Andrade, the last PBC Showtime card ever in the history. But before that, Drew, Thursday, Thanksgiving. Oh, I can't wait. San Francisco 49ers play the Seahawks on Thursday, on Turkey Day. And who else is playing Thursday? Green Bay Packers versus Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions going to take that game. Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. That game is interesting, coming up on Thursday. Followed by Thursday Night Football. I need to do something. I need to have a Thanksgiving Day party somehow. 49ers versus Seahawks. Where's my Niners family out here in Las Vegas? Hit me up, man. Invite me to your Thanksgiving party. And then, of course, Friday, which is Black Friday, Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. Lots to cover coming up on the following weeks. Wait a minute. We do our show Wednesday? We're good. We'll be seeing you guys next Wednesday for some more football talk. Drew, last words?
Go Eagles.
All right, guys, we'll see you guys next Monday after the Eagles versus Chiefs game. Of course, Drew got that $25 bet. Come back and find out on the Shoe Shine Monday night around 7:30, 7:45. Find out if Drew owes Brandon $25 or if Brandon owes Drew $25. We'll see you next Monday and next Wednesday. Peace out, everybody. Peace.